trading patterns. So and of course it's Xiaohu, one of the best LeBlancs. I mean, he has played this champion across his career. That should mean that LeBlanc is going to win out. You want to stay mid, and as bot, you want to stay bot because you generate more stacks of the quest.
Ooh, Xiaohu going for an aggressive plan tonight, landing the flash chain, and JJ comes in as well. That's the mid jungle for Weibo. Shun back, who was a big part of their 2024 season as well.
Yeah, we see a few interesting things unfolding here. We're going to get to see this again. This is how the nature of the matchup is. You just want to be pressing
back
E.
into the tower, and we'll be able to get the solo kill as the Weibo mid laner gets punished heavily. But now, in the bottom lane, it's Elk and Erha getting revenge on Elk's former bot lane counterpart, as On will go down to the 2v2 kill himself. We get skirmishing on the top side as well, as Bin's going in onto Zika, looking for a sort of play. Ultimate's already been popped. The mana is very low on Bin's side, and Zika's on the wrong side of the map. Gonna have to escape underneath
assist mechanism to take out Xiaohu and take back his spot in this game.
Now we see down in the bottom lane a dive about to happen as Shun goes in with the Cyclone onto Elk. Chain of Corruption does not connect, and Viper will go down to the turret, but he will get another kill in response. Xiaohu, though, comes in, forces Shun to flash away as well, but Erha lands a Tangle Barbs of his own with a nice flash to pick up a double kill for Xiaohu, and it's 5-2 to Weibo. Actually, for a play on to Bin. Has the ultimate at his disposal, but gonna get hit up with the public execution before he can even proc an R of his own. Erha the one to land the final blow, and Weibo are dominating the Rift here in game 1.
Wow, it looks like BLG is just not quite ready for their first. Does have the depth charge here, the Nautilus ultimate. That is one of the best ways to kill LeBlanc because there's just almost no way to lock that champion. 30% max HP shield. And he used that shield to all of his advantage.
Ooh, meanwhile, so low. Meanwhile, they got a fight here in the mid lane as the Pop Blossom goes on, and the Nautilus is immediately bursted down. However, Shun goes in with the Cyclone and makes it a trade at least of the support champions, being able to survive up in the top side as well as Zika unable of that mid lane quest in Knight's hands, going for the upgraded Merc Treads, as you say, and not going to be able to be taken down as easily. And speaking of taken down, Zika be in some trouble here as the Grim Deliverance goes forward for Bin, who's playing very aggressively right now. Lands the Q2, knows he has the revive, and that is why he's going for an aggressive play like this, waiting for Shun to come in and finish the job. Goes in with the Cyclone. Zika doesn't hit the ulti, but is able to gather enough distance to escape underneath his tier 2 turret.
Yeah, the Knight TPing in here, this is actually really interesting. In the previous seasons, at this being minute 15, this tower would just immediately die with no plates, but the way it works is there's these passive on the turrets called Bulwark, which means the more characters near the tower, the tankier they are. And so that's why, even though you have 3 champions hitting the tower, it just takes that long to take it out because the tower is just even tankier. Wow. So they finally do punch through it, but that's a pretty big...
Secured for themselves. Think about the burst ability that they already have in their kits. It's going to be harder for burst to go the opposite way. Of course, if they're able to pick up some of these extra resistances. So, 1,500 gold lead here for Weibo. It has dwindled slightly over the past few minutes, but they are still in a good position in this first game against BLG, given that they have this soul point. Up to the top lane, a little bit of a play on to Zika, who does not have that public execution at his disposal, and so Shun will be able to take him down with the help of Knight. Scoop and score here for BLG, but it'll come at a big cost as Xiaohu will come in and finish off the kill onto the Wukong with his Ignite, and now Knight's going to be in trouble as well as Erha lands the Pop Blossom, and Weibo perfectly punished the BLG mid-jungle duo.
Yeah, it looked like the BLG mid-jungle duo. Yeah, we see that there's technically a 7 gold lead, make it 8 for Knight, but across the board, it's gold leads for Weibo. They're just simply playing better. We have a bit of a fight here.
Xiaohu going for a big play onto Viper, chunks him to half HP, but now going to have to play some fancy footwork, and he's able to escape and just break BLG's ankles.
Huge chunk onto one of the carries. They just have to keep preying on these mid waves and finding a way to start up this Drake for themselves, because if they keep dancing, Weibo's going to have it.
Ooh, Dredgeline connects here onto the Jarvan. JJ forced to flash away after utilizing the Cataclysm. Erha has the Pop Blossom, but only finds Shun, who's able to flash away himself. Xiaohu never really got a chance to get into the backline. He has to get himself out of there himself. And that means that BLG able to survive the initial assault of Waybo, with Zika and Elk now pushing down the mid lane to try to get some chip damage onto the tier 1 turret. Shun has started up this dragon, and it should be pretty easy for BLG to finish it off and deny the soul. But JJ still waiting,
50-50.
still hunting to try to go for a bit of a steal. He does have his smite. Into the pit they go. Here's the big burst. Here's the play. Elk already gets the kill on the on, and it's the soul not secured by the side of Waybo. Grim Deliverance in here for Bin, and Knight's flashing over the wall to try to finish off some kills on the Waybo's side. Bin flashes in, gets the kill onto Zika, but on the backside of things, it's Elk picking one back up in response. Xiaohu and Erha still alive. It's still a 2v2 with them against Knight and Xiaohu, but Knight now feeling confident enough to flash forward, dash in onto Xiaohu, and allow the Waybo mid laner to flee. BLG deny the soul, and they'll win the team fight on top of it. It's a 3 for...
in the early game when you're having the flash as well, and you know, these champions, the later the game goes on, the less useful they become, whereas that is not the same
Look
story.
at On. Was that blind onto Xiaohu? Oh my goodness, allowing for Shun to go in and finish off a big shutdown onto the star player of Waybo. That is a massive play from BLG's support, and it's going to allow them to start up this Baron Nashor in a 4v5.
Yeah, that's exactly what BLG needed here, and they just call everything onto this Baron. Weibo's not going to be happy about this.
JJ looking to try to hunt his way back into the pit. Issues the Cataclysm. They're going to go for the full-on fight instead. Knight unable to find anybody here with the Emperor's Divide. And Zika wreaking havoc on the back line. And Viper in some trouble with the Public Execution going on top of him. Zika almost able to finish off the kill, and he will be able to do so. And on the back side of things, it's Elk finishing off the rest of Bilibili Gaming. It's his former team, and Elk is here with a vengeance. Only Bin is left alive on BLG's side, but he's just revived and still very, very healthy in this situation. Healing up enough, but it will not be enough for them to win the fight. It's Elk finishing off the ace, and Waybo going over to the Baron themselves.
Things it is season 16, but they did kite him out really well, and I think it was just the wrong look there. Another fight.
Now we get right back to action here with the dragon spawning in 7 seconds. Bin gets deleted, and Zika goes forward with Public Execution, burning the spell shield on Viper, but not landing the knockup. It is overall a 1-for-0 in favor of Waybo, but remember that this dragon will be the soul if they pick it up, and BLG not even bothering to contest. They're looking for objectives instead. They'll be able to get this tier 2 tower in the mid lane, but it'll come at the cost of a big mountain soul for Waybo.
Yeah, and this is all off of the back of that Baron play. I know that it looks really intimidating to just try flipping the Baron, but Grapes, it was down to execute the fight, but sometimes you just have to have the courage, the gusto to just flip the whole game. They didn't have that confidence, and now it's going to cost them a mountain soul.
Emotes at his former teammate. He knows that he wanted that one bad, but not going to happen as Knight comes out fruitless once more.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be missing Azir ult where you're trading ult for flash, but Grapes, that was the third Azir ult of the game that just did nothing. And here we go, we got another look. Zika doesn't get anything from that blast cone, thankfully for BLG, but yeah, I mean...
currently provides. Who's going to be able to do that damage, though? I mean, it's not Viper at this stage in the game. He's playing Poke Varus. Will it be Knight? We'll see here as the fight already has broken out. Depth Charge lands onto Zika, who is currently level 19 with that upgraded top lane quest. Not able to find too much more than about half of the Mbets' HP bar, though. The Baron is about to spawn in 5 seconds. Zika is going to head back to base. He has an Unleashed teleport at his disposal. But BLG might have to go for broke in a situation
look
like
at this TP spot.
With Jejes controlling so much of this space. He finds the Cataclysm on a Viper and takes the Varus down instantly. And Zika comes right back into the fight. Up the 2-man Pop Blossom from Erha. And that's curtains of game number 1. Waybo absolutely destroy BLG in their grand return to the 2026 stage. 21-9. They have a soul on top of it. And off the back of Xiaohu's LeBlanc, Waybo going to get game 1 of this best-of-3 series.
Oh yeah, there's almost no way that BLG is going to survive this. I mean, I've seen some miracles before, but as Zah and Azir here, there's practically no way they're defending this. I mean, I do like it as Waybo. You go for the 99. I mean, it looked like they possibly could have ended there, but again, I mean, Azir, he does have R, he does have Flash, he does have Zhonya. He could possibly defend them. So
the Elder as well. If they can get both of these, certainly will be wraps. as On is looking for an engage. Bin trying to find some sort of poke, and On already getting assassinated by the likes of Xiaohu. Elder could be the topic of conversation, but not before Elk's already able to dish out a ton of damage, and it's a triple kill in for Xiaohu on the LeBlanc. Waiting for the revive onto Bin to finish the job. They're going to give the kill over to Erha, and that will be it. Elder not needed, as Waybo will march down the mid lane and take game 1.
Yeah, and poetically, the only player left for BLG is the new blood back into the LPL on Bilibili here in Viper. He's just going to have to sit and watch as the rest of his team crumbles around him, and there is just nothing he can do as Waybo with the Mountain Soul, with the Baron, with all 5 members in tow, completely steamrolling BLG's base, destroying their Nexus, and that can be one of your better targets, because if you do hook the Syndra or Aphelios, you kind of need to have like a control ward or 2 and just put it. I suppose that is reasonable, but let's see, maybe you don't need to complete the quest if you just one-shot this guy.
Nice knock up from Erha with the power grab to make sure that he's able to land that rocket grab himself. Elk, though, once again taking a ton of turret shots. He's below 100 HP. The minions might not be able to do anything as JJ flashes forward. It was risky, but he finally pays off as Weibo Gaming pick up first blood.
Yeah, and I'm just so curious if that's even worth it. I mean, on the scoreboard it says so,
Like
but
both teams feeling comfortable about their ability to scale and play some of these fights that are more extended, drawn out. See some skirmishing down here in the bottom side. Erha lands the rocket grab, but Viper has 6 and is able to just annihilate the Blitzcrank with the help of his Moonlight Vigil and those Shurikens. An easy 2v2 kill picked up for BLG.
yeah, and BLG said they're going to end up backing off, and Mundo's going to be able to start up these grubs here. So, again, it's a bit of a cross-map play. Someone has to tank a death, but they get an objective on the other side of the map.
So BLG able to equalize that gold lead slightly, but JJ will be able to get those 3 grubs, and now BLG going to add to that lead in the kill department as Viper gets kill number 2. Thanks to the help of Shun and his unstoppable force, Erha dies for the 2nd time in as many minutes.
Yeah, and funneling that kill into Viper is so meaningful, by the way. I mean, literally has an 850 gold lead right now. I'm pretty sure he just procced cash back, that's why, but that is so meaningful here. And this Gnar is minied out. He's stuck in mini. He's going to get one shot.
See if Bin is able to do anything to try to survive this. The towers definitely are more powerful, but not powerful enough, especially up against JJ, who has popped that ultimate and will keep himself nice and healthy.
He could just be sitting in the bush, man. He can just be anywhere, and you could just be getting Malphite ulted out of nowhere. And looks like Bin might be going for the 3-peat here.
This is a bold decision. It was a little bit easier to go for it when he was not Mega, but now with an extra mem here in Xiaohu, going to make that decision a little bit easier, as they will be able to take down Bin for the 3rd kill of the game on Weibo's side. Oh, but Zika died. Oh, it's a 1-for-1.
Zika died. Well, I guess Zika is receiving the bin treatment a little bit. You know, that's just how it is as a weak side player. You are literally just, you have 2 options. Either you just don't play the game, you get no golden XP, you just sit under your second tower.
BLG actually are down in gold, but that's just how powerful this Aphelios is at this stage in the game. And they're going to look to try to feed him even more as an unstoppable force once again finds Erha. Well, Elk not going to be in a position to respond. And who else but Viper to go on a rampage?
Yeah, they are saying, welcome back to the LPL, buddy. Here's your silver Viper champ, I would say. This is exactly what you want. One of the best players in the game on one of the best champions in the game being completely spoon-fed.
We've seen countless moments of Viper on the Aphelios specifically in the LPL have incredible moments. In fact, that's what won him Game 5 of his World Championship. Now he's looking for a huge moment here, using the Moonlight Vigil, but he's going to get caught out and taken down in a 1v3. JJ gets a big shutdown, and Waybo are back in business, baby, as Xiaohu goes forward and gets his Mundo a double kill.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaohu completely carried that fight. That Between Worlds ult was just so effective. This slow that it's putting onto all of those BLG members, that just completely swung the entire game back in Weibo's favor.
Knight looking for an assassination onto Erha, not going to be able to get it though, as JJ able to make his way over to this Rift Herald, should be able to take that one down, get another neutral.
Plates off of this top tower, but other than that, you just kind of lose the objective with no recourse.
BLG, they are able to afford giving up one of those dragons. Maybe they want to wait a little bit more, maybe look for a play instead.
Wow.
As Elk gets knocked up alongside Era with the unstoppable force of Shun, and Viper gets right back onto the board. The Calibrum from downtown secures the double, and BLG answer right back.
Yeah, and BLG, we are so back out of nowhere. That's such a crazy play. I'm pretty sure he flash lanterned in the Malphite. And as Elk there, of course you're feeling paranoid, wanting to flash, but that's the last thing you want to do. As soon as you flash, the Malphite ult comes in. Boom, guess what? You're one tapped. Guess what? That's a double kill for Viper. He's going to have over a 2,000 gold lead now. He still has his sums, and Corky has no flash. This 80 carry difference is going to be most champs.
Oh my gosh. It is getting deleted right now. 7,000 HP, however, Waybo do know that this is happening.
It's gone.
Will allow for this Mundo to get close, but it is still secured by the hands of Bilibili Gaming. Shun's able to use the flash to get away, but Waybo still want the smoke. They're still looking for the fight, and they will be able to take the Malphite down. Zika, the one to land the final blow, but the rest of BLG will be able to escape. They get the Baron, and it only comes at the cost of one of their players, maybe a second though, as On has suddenly been caught out as well. A teleport his ear for Knight, but he will not be able to save, I should say, his support. Scatter of the Week comes out. It stuns up Zika, and Waybo should be able to escape with their lives. Viper now suddenly taken very low, and Waybo can still look to be aggressive now in a 3v5. They force Knight and Viper back, and they will not be able to get as much with this Baron as BLG may have originally hoped.
Yeah, as ridiculous as it seems for a super even game state, -1 flash, is that that actually should have been even better for BLG. The only reason that was so ugly is Shun got Blitzcrank hooked, and that's inexcusable, man. You cannot get Blitzcrank hooked as Malphite when you have your ult up. There's no reason he should be ulting backwards, flashing over the wall, and dying when it just took one input to change the entire trajectory. All he had to do wrong. That is still a really good play for BLG.
Yeah, still have Baron buff for next 90 seconds, and while they are down in terms of gold right now, a lot of those objectives are going to continue to stack that
The
cash.
BLG jungle, I would not be surprised if we have a pretty intense 5v5 take place here. I also would not be surprised if Waybo has the reasonability to just give this one up. It is literally a Malphite controlling this terrain right now. You're probably just going to get one tapped if you overstep, so let's see.
BLG poking, issuing little slivers of damage onto Waybo's side. Who will be the one to fully pull the trigger, though? Still waiting to see. Erha could be the difference maker with a rocket grab, and use a lot of that patience to make sure that he does not pull the wrong player. If he gets Knight or Viper, it could be game warping, series warping here for Waybo. They're playing things very safely as the Dragon has been started up.
Yeah, I mean, at least you want to get in range for a 50-50 smite here, but they want more.
Go. Knock up already, connecting onto Xiaohu. Viper in severe danger. He flashed away, but still has a lot of healing with that red gun. It's going to be Viper eventually getting taken down by the hands of Zika. But can the rest of BLG come to play without their main carry alive? They get the Renekton, as it's still a 1-for-2 in favor of BLG. Elk's able to back away from that death sentence of On, but it's BLG securing the third dragon of the game.
It looks like Knight is finally on the board. Insane. I'm sure we might have seen some of those push clips before. I mean, he's got the business skin. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. But when this Mundo hits level 16 and he has a Randuin's, Felix is going to do no damage. He's going to heal so much.
There's no scatter on Knight right now, and that means Weibo want to go on the aggressive end. Shun gets hooked up, uses that unstoppable force defensively, and that's a big cooldown. No longer at BLG's disposal. Bin teleports in, has to immediately hop, skip, and jump out of the way. And Weibo Gaming in a good position now to potentially contest a Baron or just set up their lane. 25 here with a new addition in Viper at the AD carry position. You see the red and the blue guns once again unlock for Viper, and they find a big scatter of the week onto JJ to chunk him to half HP. Meanwhile, Zika was looking for a flank onto Bin, but unable to find any crucial targets, and now Bin approaching Meganar. The unstoppable force comes forward from Shun, and that's the go button for BLG. 2 members down. Xiaohu forced to jump away, but he will not be able to escape for very much longer. Flashed away from the wallop. Maximum dosage here for JJ will keep him alive, but BLG are still 5 strong, and they can make their way to the Dragon Soul.
And what an effective usage of the go button. They quite literally one-shot Zika before he was even able to pop the Dominus. That's such a difference maker in this fight. The Blitzcrank and the Renekton just had no way to navigate that. Beautiful ulti. Wow, look at that damage onto Elk right there.
Almost able to one-shot Elk. Has help from On to get away from.
Take it.
Could be a little bit even more damage. On thought about it. You know he thought about going in there. But going for the safer play instead. Baron is on the table, and Zika does not respawn for another 5 seconds, and no TP on the Renekton.
Yeah, and JJ doesn't have the passive right now. I believe it should come up pretty soon here, but it means he can actually be crowd controlled for once. And you can just one-shot this.
Getting close to Mega Gnar. There he is. Will he use the ultimate? Already does. Doesn't find a priority target. And it's going to be the Baron, secured by Waybo. Somehow, someway, BLG have it stolen right under their noses. And now can go for the fight on the other side of things. Bin has a Sterix pop. Zika looking to dash forward. And they will take the Gnar down. Zhao who gets the kill. And now Billy are on the run with Waybo, the ones wearing purple.
And that's the thing with the Cloud Soul. It's the highest win rate soul, but a lot of the power comes from using your ultimates. They expended all of their ultimates. I wonder whose game this is going to be now. Just because one team has the Cloud Soul, the other team has the Baron here. They have the gold lead. Their champions are pretty good late game. I mentioned the Mundo. We might have ourselves a game that could go all the way to the Elder Dragon just to get some hopes up.
And if you thought Mundo was hard to kill, he's got his 4th item, and that's a Protoplasm Harness. Going to be basically a second ulti if he ever gets below 30% HP. Hook lands onto On. Erha landing a nice rocket grab, and that's Elk getting the kill. 4v5 now opened up across the map as Bin teleports in to try to defend his bot lane tier 1, but that will not happen. There's still the empowered minions for the next 60 seconds, and Waybo are going to make the most of it.
Oh, this is so awkward, too, because as Viper, he's got a Lord Dominic's Regards and an Executioner's Calling. He knows he needs to cut this healing, but this Executioners can't do anything. Luckily, he gets the extra inventory slot, but yeah, this Mundo, as I kind of theorized, is just going to be such an amazing champion for Waybo. They ulti onto him.
They're going to have to try to just one-shot him, but he cleanses away, pops the ulti, and JJ will not fall. This Mundo is immortal, and Elk's going to land the kill onto Shun as well. Xiaohu on the flank. Knight and Viper are very low, and Waybo will continue their push with the Baron buff.
And guess what, Graves? He didn't even have to pop the Protoplasm Harness there. He didn't even reach the threshold. He would have had just that much more healing, just that much more tenacity. He's just so immortal. He's so unkillable. He's even more ahead now. You've got this extra inventory slot. You've got all the gold in the world, but there's just no item you can build to punch through this Mundo right now. Here we go.
Another hook. It lands onto Shun. He's going to have to use the lantern from On to get away, but JJ still just going to walk straight into the opposition, and Zhao, who has found a massive flank, but he gets knocked up and is going to get taken down by the Unleashed Power. A massive mistake by the mid laner of Weibo Gaming could end up costing them this team fight. Here goes Bin. He's Mega Gnar, lands the wallop, and gets the Gnar on to Zika. 2-0 BLG, and they're going to push down mid to look for more.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaohu was just doing too much right there. He's like one of the only ways you can throw is by dying as one of these vulnerable champions. There was no need to go for that. He got completely punished. I'm not sure what by. I think it was actually a Scatter the Weak that might have hit him. To be sure, they have a huge spot to take this game 2 right now. They're going to even probably get the Baron.
Remember, guys,
if none of your teammates can kill the opposition, so we're going to have BLG with the trifecta, Grapes. That's the Baron, that's the Elder, and that's the Dragon.
That's going to be the biggest challenge of them all, potentially. Maybe even more than winning the game. We see a Guardian Angel now picked up for Viper. Knight has gotten extremely fed at this point in the game as well. Sitting with that Death Cap alongside a Cosmic Drive, going to be throwing out scatters like it's nobody's business. Teleport comes in with the Spellbook of On. You have Bin currently holding things down in the bottom lane, but he has a TP to join a fight if it ends up breaking out.
Yeah, typically with the Baron, you want to play multiple lanes. The hook goes wide here. Yeah, you can't really just siege one lane. It's too easy for them to clear the wave. So that's why Bin is delivering this mid wave here. He can sync this up with this imminent top wave, and this is going to be a really hard push to answer with all his Baron buffed minions. With all the buffs that BLG is wearing right now, you can see they just have to seed these towers. They have to play at their nexus. There's still over a minute of this Elder Dragon remaining.
Hope for Waybo, you can wait one more wave, hold it a little bit longer, and maybe that Elder Dragon buff will have expired by then. But it's going to be a tough task as there are still minions marching into the Nexus turrets now. 2 inhibitors already taken down. Waybo looking to avoid a game number 3 in BLG, trying to force that decider. The first Nexus tower in severe danger and now taken down. Death sentence lands onto JJ, and Bin is approaching Mega Gnar at level 19, looking to pull the trigger, and he will dash forward and land a 2-man Gnar. But on the back end of things, Zika is still forcing away, and JJ is healing up a storm. The Nexus becomes the target, and that will be BLG, sending us to game 3.
Yeah, BLG where to even dodge it from. You just die. It's kind of hard, but I mean, they already got the Braum though, so they can block the bullet time pretty effectively. They can get directly on top.
In this third game.
Yeah, and you just have to admire it because I know there's a lot of top lane players who just say, nope, I refuse to play the tank. I need to be on a carry. I'm him. Like, how dare you put me on a tank? Movie scene right there.
Yeah.
What's going on up here?
We're having, you know, the Huya feed's not been the kindest to us today. We appreciate you all being here regardless, as now we get to look towards the bottom lane. And what a play from Knight, Viper, and On. They get first blood onto Elk. They're going to get a second onto Era as well. And that is a massive play for BLG to open up this third.
Probably going to end up dying. They're just going to be padding their damage stats until the real game starts for them. But yeah, this is definitely a dead Talia.
JJ returning the favor, and with an exclamation point at that.
Weaver's wall is just going to be netting you a side lane kill, whether it's top, whether it's both of them in the bot lane. But when the Cassio, who is the much stronger overall champion,
equalize things a bit, but the rest of the map, now Waybo looking to establish positioning around this second dragon.
Yeah, On ghosting in with the spellbook. Looks like they really want Era here.
They get hit up by here, the seismic shove as well. A lot of crowd control has found the Braum, just perfectly executed. And now On's gonna find a knock on the Xiao as well. He flies with a petrifying gaze, but finds nobody as everyone was looking away. BLG get 2 more kills, and they're gonna get this dragon as well.
Yeah, and I hope everybody else in the chat was looking at items. I think Cassio will deal negative damage to him too, and he'll just be completely unkillable.
Speaking of Cassio, Knight comes in with a teleport looking to try to punish Xiaohu, but JJ is right in the perfect position. Takes down Knight once again, and Weibo able to answer and at least stabilize the game for now.
That is exactly why you need to increase benefit from that movement speed. Rek'Sai burning the flash here, by the way.
Knight certainly not as strong as we were maybe hoping him to be in this game. He traps Zika with the Weaver's Wall and sets up for On to land a little bit of crowd control with this combo. The seismic shove lands as well. Zika unable to use that Void Rush because he has not hit Knight recently enough, but he buys enough time for JJ to once again join the fight and target Knight for the 3rd time this game. But Shun and On coming to the rescue this time around, and the Crescent Guard sends JJ to his doom.
And Knight, what was that, man? Oh my God, I've never seen something like once. He must have 4,000 or 5,000 right now. So yeah, I mean, a true shot barrage just doing nothing minutes, but that's definitely a good trade for BLG there. It's going to open up Elk as a target.
Now On gonna look for Zika here, combined with Bin canceling the ulti after he immediately sees that summoner spell burn. Mission accomplished overall into the top side for BLG. But now Weibo can answer by pulling away some damage onto this mid lane tier 1, and On could be in some danger as well. He has to use that headbutt to get away from the opposition, as Weibo now will control both the mid lane and the top side jungle of Bilibili.
Yeah, again, another ult for flash trade, and that Shojin stacking passive to actually keep up with this MF right now. So there's a huge discrepancy in the 80 carries power level right now. I really feel like BLG's going to push the envelope.
Xiaohu could be in some danger. The miasma doesn't stop the Scion ult, but there's a big amount of damage being issued back. Seismic shove connects, and Viper lands another crucial kill onto the Snake Lady, and BLG are right back onto the board. Flash in onto Elk. That's the arcane shift away, but BLG are collapsing. They get their 2nd kill of the fight, and screw that dragon. They're going to go right to Baron Nashor and take it down.
Yeah, and this should be checkmate in terms of securing the Baron, not necessarily the Nexus, don't get me wrong, but yeah, as Xiaohu there, he pressed all 3 of his important buttons, the Miasma, the Petrifying Gaze, actually the Flash and the Zonias. That's 4 buttons, and all 4 of them were useless. In terms of the inputs out of Xiaohu there, you remember he had the Flash in place before, now he has the use all 4 buttons incorrectly. Like, Oh man, Xiaohu Casio, I thought we would have, I mean, it was going so well when he was outplaying Knight in the laning phase, but unfortunately Knight impacting the map and Xiaohu just not being able to play this champion to the fullest potential, and it's problems across the board here for Weibo.
BLG now going to fully capitalize on it. They're pushing in 2 lanes, of course getting those extra plates. Thank you Season 16, and going to try to extend their gold lead a little bit further in the next 75 seconds or so. Xiaohu, decent amount of wave clear though, with the help of Xiaohu's Casio. Of course, Elk going to be able to provide some value as well in terms of finishing off these cannon creeps that have that additional range with the Baron buff. And speaking of that Baron buff, 1 more wave is all it will be. Maybe BLG are able to get this tier 2. Maybe Weibo can find some sort of answer here. The Weaver's Wall has come out as Knight joins the 4v4 around this top side. Era tries to go forward with the Unbreakable. He gets stunned a little bit too early. Ends up being forced to pop that Glacial Fissure. Viper, who still is very powerful at this point with that 3rd item being completed. However, BLG certainly in the driver's seat now as this Dragon spawns. Teleport coming in from both top laners. And
Look at
Weibo
these shields. Look at these shields.
The objective up first.
Yeah, these top laner shields are just going to be insane, Grapes. I don't think these champions can die.
Shun looking to dash in, try to maybe pick up a bit of a steal of this dragon. Going to be a full 50-50 actually as they both get into the pit, and it's secured by the Xin Zhao. Soul point for BLG, but can they escape after the initial fight? Guardian Angel has been procced by Shun. He should most likely be taken down, and that is 1 big kill going over to Weibo Gaming in place of the Drake.
You know, I really thought this Scion with a 30% HP shield was just going to show up, just be the biggest menace of all time, and that fight was going to be over before it started. But we actually have ourselves a bit of a game here right now. I really think Weibo has a chance of outplaying them here and getting the Baron or getting some kind of an ace or something. I mean, it's really tough, but it's possible.
Well, looks like they won't have a smite on BLG's side, but a big petrifying gaze from Xiaohu is going to let Allen down very, very low. Elk shifts over, but the bullet time nearly takes him down. Scion is doing a bunch of damage, but he will not be able to kill the Ezreal. Weibo able to win out on the fight. They get both of the 2 kills on it to the Talia and the Alistar, and only Ben is left still standing.
No way.
Get taken down by the mites of Jeje, and it's Weibo Gaming to make their way towards the Baron.
You have got to be kidding me. I thought this game was like so over, but
Per side, we've gotten 5 dragons, currently split 3-2. Only 13 kills, but it might be a whole lot more in the next few minutes as Weibo suddenly are able to make this push with the Baron buff in their hands. Gold in their hands for the first time in quite a while, with the top side of the map certainly benefiting in a large way. You see, of course, Elk approaching that 5th item now. Xiaohu working his way towards the Void Staff. Things are starting to look up for Weibo, but you have to admit, the only reason they were able to win that fight is because Shun ended up completely throwing his life away to make sure they get that dragon.
yeah, I mean, Shun's supposed to be able to flash out there or something. Again, I do think it was because of Xiaohu's miasma that they caught him out of the GA. But yeah, I mean, if it's just a typical 5v5, I feel like BLG was supposed to be in good shape. But now with these inventories, I think Weibo can certainly match them in the 5v5.
Here goes initial engage. Bin going for Xiaohu, not landing the knockup, but the seismic shove from Knight is massive, landing onto 2 members of Weibo. Xiaohu the most important, and that will take away any hope of a Baron push to end the game for Weibo.
It's the exact same story. Xiaohu just being super far up. No way of evading the unstoppable onslaught from Scion. That's another pick.
But Shun is going to follow him straight to the grave. A 3rd kill picked up here for BLG. And now it is Zika looking to try to split push his way to potentially saving the series for his team.
Are they trying to end mid?
2 members available on the map right now for Weibo. They're going to have to get Zika back and try to save this game. It's 5 for BLG. We'll try to end the series here.
The Avengers are coming mid. I don't know if Weibo can stop this right now.
It's 15 seconds onto Xiaohu. That is all the time that Zika, Jeje, and Erha will need to buy. slow will land onto Erha in the knockup as well. A wave is pushing in. Baron buff in the hands of some of these players, but it might not be enough. Zika gets knocked back with a seismic shove, but will stay alive. Xiaohu comes in, looking to try to save the game for BLG. They're looking for Viper. They end up taking him down, but will it be enough? Guardian Angel already popped, and now Zika could be in some trouble alongside Jeje. He gets knocked up. That's going to be it. Bin still unkillable into this game, but Elk has come back, looking to try to take his former team down underneath his own Nexus. Crescent guard popped by Shun. Elk still remains untouched here on the back line. Nobody from BLG wanting to go in on him just yet. There's the one becomes lightning. He shifts away from the audacious charge, and Zika has come back in with a full set of HP. Going in with the ulti. Void rush onto On, but he will not fall. Zika still able to dash away. One Nexus tower still left standing. Era eventually drops. Nobody on BLG will die, and Elk might have to watch his former team end the game before his very eyes. Knock up onto 2, and that's gonna do it. BLG were standing at death's door, but they come all the way back, down to the Nexus of Waybo, and pick up their first win of 2026.
Wow, just wow, that was just